I didn't really have much time for this, let me tell you, but I will say that again, I'm gratified. It seems trite to say that I'm humbled by it, but I am. Who was it? One of the prophets said that he's not, when God called him to a task, he said, I'm not a prophet nor a son of a prophet. And Amos, I believe it was, who felt wholly inadequate for the task that he was called to. And certainly that's my feeling here today. I appreciate, though, the confidence expressed. And one thing I wanted to say about Darrell also, Darrell is such a good sport on everything and who can come up here and make a joke out of that. We appreciate it. And I appreciate what Darrell and Joan, I would certainly affirm everything that Virgil said about their contribution, all that Darrell and Joan have done for the party, for everybody else, Howard for the guidance that he's given us over the years. He's been a mentor to many in this room, if probably most in this room, and continues to be a mentor to us. There are so many people that have contributed so much to this effort that I can't say enough about what it has taken to get us this far. While it is with trepidation I look forward to this campaign, I also look forward to it with eagerness. I think we have a presidential candidate who will carry the values effectively, the values of this party effectively to the people out there, who has the ability to attract a wide segment of people in our society, who has the ability to speak to the working man, to working women, somebody who can convey and articulate well the message that we have, and who has a credibility with having spent 12 years in the U.S. Congress, with having spent a number of years in the state Senate, who has distinguished himself in those roles, somebody who has been through the fire, somebody who can learn by experience, somebody who is not set in his ways to the extent that he can't change when he sees something better, when he understands the truth more fully. And that's what I appreciate about him. And I think we can probably speak for everybody in this room that we're not the same place we were 10, 15, 20 years ago. We do learn from our life experience. We do grow as we live and as we learn, as we gain more truth. And I appreciate what Virgil had to say about with his association with the Constitution Party and how it helped him to more fully understand the dangers and the ills of the Patriot Act, for example. And he's willing to acknowledge the wrongness of the votes in favor of that. So, you know, that to me is the mark of a statesman, one who learns from the past, learns from the mistakes of the past, and is able to go forward and find the nuggets of truth in the future. So again, I look forward to a great campaign. This all came about rather sudden for me, and I had no expectations of being the vice presidential candidate up until a couple days ago when it was first mentioned to me. I'm not sure what all the future holds, but I do know who holds the future. I expect a campaign where we can get the message out, where we have the opportunity to convey this message all across this land. We need your help. We need your help to get ballot access. There are still a lot of states, of course, that we have to get ballot access in. That's going to take a lot of work on behalf of a lot of you people out here, as well as those who couldn't come for one reason or another to this convention. So I say let's redouble our efforts. Let's get out there and get on the ballot so that we can have the sounding board, the opportunity, the forum from which to get our message out. And again, I thank you for your confidence. I thank you for your help in getting us here. And let's go and let's hit them in November. Thank you. I would like to just supplement a little bit my comments from before, that now we are in a crisis in this country. I think we recognize that. We have a lot of work to do. We don't have much time to do it. We are going through a phase in our history where I think we're approaching the precipice. And we need to work diligently to keep from going over that edge. I know you've probably heard this before, but in 1887, Alexander Tytler, a Scottish history professor at the University of Edinburgh, had this to say about the fall of the Athenian Republic some 2,000 years ago. He said, "A democracy is always temporary in nature. It simply cannot exist as a permanent form of government. A democracy will continue to exist up until the time that voters discover that they can vote themselves generous gifts from the public treasury." Now, I am well aware that we're supposed to be a republic, not a democracy, although it's a democratic republic, and there are forms of democracy even in a Republican form of government. But nevertheless, we've been increasingly moving toward a democracy, a democratic form of government, and away from it being a republic. And we see the effects, and we see ourselves in the cycle that Alexander Tytler spoke of. And he said that the democracy will continue to exist up until the time that the voters discover that they can vote themselves generous gifts from the public treasury. And from that moment on, the majority always votes for the candidate who promised the most benefit from the public treasury, with the result that every democracy will finally collapse over loose fiscal policy, which is always followed by a dictatorship. The average age of the world's greatest civilizations from the beginning of history has been about 200 years. During those 200 years, the nations always progressed through the following sequence: from bondage to spiritual faith, from spiritual faith to great courage, from courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to complacency, from complacency to apathy, from apathy to dependence, from dependence back into bondage. Let's not let the year 2012 state the obituary for the United States of America. Rather, let's let it be a time of rebirth and a restoration of the great principles upon which it was built.